Музей был, увидел. Программу выполнил. Фотокамера, видеокамера. Кому-то на фоне ракеты батарейки. Кого есть? Кто? Как бы выстрелил, да? Да, коллеги, вопрос. Нормально, всем удобно?
Colleagues, questions, please. Can you see?
Что провели сегодня?
So what happened today? We sprinkled holy water on the Soyuz vehicle to ensure a comfortable, successful flight for the crew members. All the work that has been done to assemble this rocket has been blessed. The rocket is blessed, the journey is blessed, and we will pray for them as they fly in space so that God supports them. Are you going to see the crew members today? Yes, definitely. I will. As they walk to their bus, we will pray for them and bless them. What is your name? My name is Sergey. Any activity that you do has to be blessed by God and supported by the Lord. And this work is special because it gives hope to people, it strengthens their faith, because whatever happens, even when you fly on the airplane or if you're on the train or in a car, you can stop at any time, but still you're not sure if you will reach your destination. But with space, you really, all you can do is pray and hope. Also, tabloids like to write that this is too expensive to bless the rocket. Well, no, the Orthodox Church does not charge anything to bless the rocket. This is all completely voluntary. We do this on our own time. We heard the number 150,000. No, it is not true. Okay, thank you very much. God bless you.
Сегодня осталось одно из основных действий – это утвердить.
We still have one thing that we need to do is to confirm the crews, and so I would like to present you Sergei Krikolov, who will suggest crew members. The medical commission admits the flight crew due to health reasons for flight. We reviewed the results of their training and came to the conclusion that ISS 32-33 crews are prepared for flight on Soyuz TM-05. They're prepared to work on board of the Russian segment of the ISS. The pre-flight training program has been completed in full, and we propose confirming the prime crew, including the following crew members: Commander Yuri Malenchenko, Flight Engineer Sanita Williams, and Flight Engineer 2, Akihiko Hashida. Backup crew: Commander Roman Romanenko, Flight Engineer Chris Hadfield, Flight Engineer 2 Thomas Mashburn. That completes my report. Thank you. Questions for Sergei Konstantinovich?
Michael Thomas Safredini.
Michael Thomas Safredini, please.
Sunny, Yuri, Aki. It's good to see you guys. You've completed all your training. You're an experienced crew, and you're launching into a very ambitious mission.
Сани, Юрий, Аки, очень рад вас видеть. Вы очень экипаж, который знающий экипаж, очень опытный экипаж. И осталось до вашего полета всего лишь немного времени.
And as you know, your launch date is the 37th anniversary of the Apollo Soyuz test project launch. And I think it's most fitting that the three of you are launched to the ISS that was basically started with that flight.
И в день вашего запуска мы будем отмечать 37-летие полета «Союз-Аполлон». И я считаю, что это очень символично, что именно так и произошло.
So good luck and Godspeed.
Поэтому удачи вам и всего самого наилучшего.
Thank you.
Спасибо. Ребята, еще раз вам успехов.
Good luck to you guys again. We believe in you.
Но еще раз говорю, если бы
We support you, but
мы бы здесь не
we are confident that your flight will be successful. Thank you.
Уважаемые друзья,
Dear friends,
в соответствии с программой полетов
in accordance to the flight program to the International Space Station,
2012 года,
on July 15th, 2012,
8 часов 40 минут
at
по местному
8:40
времени, соответственно, в 6 часов 40 минут по
local time, 6:40 Moscow time, there was a launch scheduled for the transport vehicle Soyuz TMA for expedition 32-33 on board. A few minutes ago, the State Commission has finished its meeting where they confirmed the prime and backup crew. Allow me to introduce them. Soyuz commander and flight engineer for the ISS, Yuri Malenchenko, Sanita Williams, representing NASA, the United States, flight engineer 2 of Soyuz and flight engineer for the ISS, Akihiko Hashida, JAXA, Japan, backup crew commander of Soyuz and flight engineer for the ISS, Roman Romanenko, flight engineer for Soyuz and flight engineer for the ISS, Chris Hadfield, Canadian Space Agency, flight engineer 2 of Soyuz and flight engineer of the station, Thomas Mashburn, NASA, United States. Please ask your questions and specifically point out who you're addressing your questions to.
Телеканал «Россия-1», программа «Вести». Вопрос.
Vesti television program, television channel 1 of Russia. First, my question is for Mr. Malenchenko. Congratulations on your upcoming flight. And what are you planning to do first thing once you arrive on board of the ISS? Are you planning a celebration of some sort? Thank you very much for your congratulations. Our first day upon arriving to the ISS, once we arrive, we have a lot of work scheduled that we will need to accomplish, and our work day during the docking day is a very long one, usually 16 or 17 hours. I am looking forward to seeing the crew that is working on board at this time. We will be sending greetings from the Earth to them, and we will give them a big hug. Okay, thank you very much. Next question. Dear crews, allow me to introduce you, to congratulate you with the upcoming flight. Wish you the best. And for the commander, specifically for Expedition 33, I would like to send this souvenir. You will open it yourself. I will give it to the crew surgeon. I'm not going to step in myself.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.
Так. Следующий вопрос.
Next question.
テレビ放送の片野と言います。1問だけ日本語の質問、日本語の答えが OK だということなのでお伺いいたしますが、いよいよ打ち上げがあさってに迫ってきました。そして現在の意気込みや体調などはいかがですか。そして、4ヶ月の長期滞在中、これだけは注目してほしいとか、あるいはこんな星出彰彦を見てほしいとか、そういうようなこだわりのアピールポイントみたいなのがありましたら、ぜひ聞かせてください。
はい、日本の皆さん、今、いろいろ応援していただいてありがとうございます。まずは御礼申し上げます。この、2週間ほど、バイコヌールで、準備作業をしてきましたけども、クルーみんな、バックアップクルーも含めてですね、みんなリラックスして、この2週間を過ごすことができました。で、今日の、認定されてですね、晴れて、宇宙機の方も準備万端と、クルーも準備万端ということで、リラックスして打ち上げに臨めるというふうに考えます。それから、滞在中の、注目していただきたいことですけど、一番大きいのはそうですね、いろんな実験、作業いろいろありますけれども、やはり地上も含めた、チームで軌道上のチーム、それから地上のチームで、仕事をしているんだというところをぜひ、見ていただきたいなというふうに思います。Sorry, English kita? Sorry. So first question was how we feel right now, and I answered after 2 weeks in Baikonur, we were all very relaxed, including the backup crews, and we're ready for launch, and not just us, but the vehicle itself is ready. And the second question. Oh, извини.
Первый вопрос, значит, экипажу. Что вы чувствуете сейчас перед стартом? Ответ. После 2 недель подготовки на Байконуре экипаж чувствует себя достаточно отдохнувшим. Мы готовы к старту, наш корабль также готов. Все в порядке.
And the second question was what I would like to people to see during our stay, and my answer was I'd like to see people to see. We're going to do a lot of experiments, a lot of tasks on board, just various things. But the most important thing is that we're working together as a team, not just the team on orbit, but the team on the ground as well. So it's a big team that we're working together.
И второй вопрос был, как мы будем вместе работать на станции с теми людьми, которые будут в составе экипажа. Ответ, что у нас большая научная программа, у нас запланировано большое количество экспериментов, у нас прекрасный экипаж, прекрасная команда, и мы с нетерпением ждем работы на Международной космической станции.
Спасибо. Следующий вопрос.
Thank you. Next question, please. Mahmoud Kanbar, Russia Today television channel. My question is for Yuri. What work will you be performing on board of the ISS? What is your scientific program? You're planning an extravehicular activity as well. Can you talk more about it? For our expedition, we have a big program scheduled, but it's a standard program. For the Russian segment, we have a scientific program that includes about 40 scientific experiments covering various research fields. We will also have a lot of dynamic operations such as docking, undocking, manned vehicles arriving as well as cargo vehicles arriving. We will have an extravehicular activity as well. The spacewalk will last about 7 hours. There will be several tasks that we will accomplish during the spacewalk, such as working with scientific experiments outside of the station, reconfiguring systems, and launching a small artificial satellite. We are looking forward to this work. It's going to be busy, but it's going to be interesting, and I am confident that it will all work out great. Thank you. Hello, Anna, Roscosmos Television Studio. First question is for Yuri. You have flown in space already, and you had a female crew member as well in your crew. Was this your personal request, or why do you keep having women in your crews? And my question is for Roman. How are you planning to prepare for your flight as a prime crew? Yes, it just happened that in every flight I have female crew members. I don't know why it happened, but that's the way it worked out. And as I mentioned earlier, we do not distinguish between males and females in our crew members. I am happy because what matters to me is that all members of all my crews have been great individuals, and even during my previous flight, when we were returning in a capsule, we had 2 women at the same time, which was the first time in history ever. But despite that fact, everything went well. It was all good, and there were no difficulties. So I'm very happy. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now, Roman, please. Thank you for your question. Before our launch, until our launch, we have about 5 months. So we will continue preparing for our flight as the prime crew, which is scheduled for December. We will be training here in Russia. We will have joint simulations here in Russia and several sessions in the United States where we will be participating in training with 2 other crews. The crew that will be we will be joining in the crew that will join us eventually. We will practice our joint work in case of depressurization or a fire on board, and so we will continue working as we have been so far. Thank you very much. Next question.
Can I just say, Sonny, the haircut looks really good. I saw you got it cut on Twitter. We were worried, but it looks good, the hair. I was wondering, going to work in the morning, what is the more stressful commute? Going to the office in Houston traffic or going to your other office strapped to a rocket?
Well, first of all, thank you for the comment on my hair. It was a little shocking when I saw how short it was, but I'm getting used to it, and it's going to look longer when I'm in space. Your question about what's a little bit more stressful, I would definitely say going to work in Houston is more stressful than the 8-minute rocket ride. The traffic in Houston, like I think everybody knows, is pretty horrible, and sometimes just a 5-mile commute can take about 15 or 20 minutes. And we'll be already in the rocket, resting, getting our final preparations done before we launch. And like I mentioned, it's only an 8-minute ride. There's no traffic jam on the way, and we'll be in space before we know it.
Thank you. Hello, RIA Novosti, Alexei Kislyak. I have 2 questions for the prime crew. First of all, your call sign is Agat, which means name of a gemstone in Russian. Who selected it? And my second question is, what are you planning to do in your spare time on board of the ISS? Agat is our call sign, and usually what happens is that the Soyuz commander picks the call sign. It is done when the commander prepares for his first flight. So I probably selected that call sign back in 1993 when I was preparing for my first flight. At that time, there was a list of call signs that were available. There were the names of gemstones and stars there, and I saw this word, which means a semi-precious stone, and so I picked it.
So the second question was about free time. Like Yuri mentioned already, we're going to be pretty busy as soon as we get there with HTV, EVAs, progress, ATV, undocking.
Как уже Юрий упомянул, у нас будет много работы на борту. Прилетает грузовой корабль HTV, ATV. Также у нас запланированы стыковки грузовых кораблей прогрессов, различные расстыковки.
So I promise we will not be bored.
И я обещаю, скучно нам не будет.
But I know one thing that all of us have not seen yet is the cupola. So I think we'll probably be spending some of our spare time looking out the windows in the cupola.
И никто из членов нашего экипажа еще не видели модуль купол, поэтому я думаю, что свое свободное время, если оно у нас будет, мы будем проводить именно там, наслаждаясь различными видами Земли.
And of course, a very significant event is happening while we're up there is the Olympics. So hopefully we'll be getting a little bit of coverage of the Olympics.
И также наиболее значимое событие, которое состоится во время, когда мы будем на Международной космической станции, это Олимпийские игры. Поэтому мы тоже будем наблюдать за ходом проведения этих игр.
And just one thought about the Olympics. I think the International Space Station and the Olympics are very similar in that they bring together countries from all over the world. They work together, they compete, and they bring out the best of each other.
И мне кажется, что между Международной космической станцией и Олимпийскими играми существует много общего. Это то, что заставляет людей из различных стран собираться вместе, работать вместе, и это часть тоже нашего сотрудничества.
Спасибо. Получилось, что Саня за всех.
Thank you. Looks like Sunny answered for everybody.
Rob Navius with NASA Television. I have a question and a follow-up for Sunny. You touched on this before, just a bit of elaboration if you would. You actually have 9 visiting vehicle operations and 2 spacewalks, one Russian, one US, in the first 7 weeks that you and your crew are aboard the station. How daunting a task is that going to be to pull off?
As we say here in Russian, shag za shagom. So one thing after another. First of all is start and let us get up to the space station and dock. And then we'll be concentrating on the next thing, and then the next thing, and we'll see how it all goes.
Прежде всего, по-русски скажу шаг за шагом. То есть сначала мы стартуем, мы прилетаем, стыкуемся с космической станцией, и дальше уже готовимся к выполнению следующей задачи. И так вот последовательно мы будем выполнять каждую из поставленных операций.
We've trained for all of these events. We're ready for them as they occur. I think we're going to all need a little refresher as they get closer, but we'll be ready to tackle them. And I think we've got a great crew, along with the crew that's on board right now, to fulfill all of those events.
Мы длительное время готовились по каждой из поставленных задач, поэтому мы готовы к выполнению. И у нас очень опытный экипаж очень опытный на борту, поэтому мы справимся с поставленными задачами.
And one more, Sunny. You and your crew will be launching on the 37th anniversary of Apollo Soyuz, docking on the 37th anniversary of that famous handshake in space between Tom Stafford and Alexei Leonov. How significant was that event for you and your crew as the vanguard for the international cooperation we see enacted here today?
I think you know our start was supposed to be a couple months ago, but it got delayed till this date.
Возможно, да, вы в курсе, что наш старт был запланирован еще 2 месяца назад, должен был состояться, но его перенесли, отложили на 2 месяца, поэтому вот мы летим сейчас.
So I think things happen for fate.
И я думаю, это не случайно.
We are really honored to be launching on the same day that Apollo Soyuz launched and docking on the same day that they docked.
Для нас это действительно большая честь, то, что мы стартуем в 37-ю годовщину запуска Союза Аполлона, и мы стыкуемся тоже в 37-ю годовщину стыковки кораблей Союза и Аполлона.
I think that was the start of our international friendship and working together in the space program, and we've come a long way.
И для нас это будет стартом к нашему международному сотрудничеству, нашей дружбе.
And so we're very thankful to those who have come before us and laid this path that we're going to follow in a couple days, in a day and a half or so.
И я очень благодарна всем тем людям, которые до нас летали на Международную космическую станцию, летят после нас, через день-два.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.
RT question for Sanita. You are the first woman who was in the out of the space station so a long time. So what did you feel, and what do you feel when you see the Earth, our Earth, from the space?
И вопрос опять-таки для Саниты Уильямс. Санита, вы были первой женщиной, которая совершила выход в открытый космос. Скажите, пожалуйста, что вы при этом чувствовали и что вы чувствовали, наблюдая Землю из космоса?
Well, I was very lucky to be able to do 4 spacewalks on my first mission, and hopefully we'll get to do a spacewalk during this mission as well.
Мне действительно очень повезло, потому что я выполнила 4 выхода в открытый космос во время своего первого полета. И я надеюсь, что мне предстоит выполнить еще один выход в открытый космос в моем предстоящем полете.
A lot of people ask if you're scared when you go what we call out the door. And luckily it was nighttime, so I really couldn't see a lot when I went out the door the first time.
И я бы хотела сказать, что некоторые люди, им, конечно, страшно, когда они делают выход в открытый космос. Я уже делала выход в открытый космос, и у меня тогда не было много времени, чтобы рассмотреть Землю. Сейчас я с нетерпением жду этого.
But as the sun came up and I was able to see the beautiful Earth below me flying by, I held on a little tighter, but I couldn't help but feel how beautiful our planet is.
И я видела, как встает солнце за горизонта, я видела, насколько прекрасна Земля в лучах солнца. Но мне приходилось усердно работать, мне не было времени, чтобы наблюдать за этими прекрасными видами.
And what's really nice about doing a spacewalk is you can turn your head essentially in any direction. So you can see out into the cosmos, you can look back at Earth, you can look at the sunrise, the sunset, you can turn any way you want to turn, which you can't do when you're just looking out of a window.
И что самое приятное в выходе в открытый космос, это то, что ты можешь поворачивать голову куда хочешь, в любом направлении. То есть ты можешь смотреть на Землю, ты можешь смотреть в космос, любоваться различными видами. Потому что когда ты смотришь в иллюминатор, это только один вид. А здесь у нас больше возможностей.
Absolutely beautiful. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doing that one more time.
Это очень красиво, и я с нетерпением жду, чтобы это повторилось снова.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much. The 3-question limit for Sunny has been reached, so we are moving on to other crew members. Okay, Vyacheslav Ivanov, Interfax, I have a question for the commander. Will the crew be helping ground services to watch the consequences of floodings in Kuban and in Japan? And do you have enough technical means to support this activity? Thank you.
Ну, в случае каких-то любых видов экологических
In case of any natural disasters, every time, every crew that is on board of the ISS monitors the situation. We always perform
большую серию снимков
high-def imagery with high resolution so that we can downlink the images and have detailed information in real time on the ground. That allows the services that are dealing with the situation to have this accurate information. These images allow to see the details of the processes and tendencies that are happening, and also it helps understand the causes of different events, and in the future use this data to prevent similar disasters. Thank you.
Спасибо. Следующий вопрос.
Next question.
CBC Canada. My question is for Mr. Hadfield. You're seeing right there at the end of the table your colleagues who are going to have the chance of going up in space in a couple of days. What's your feeling now? You've been training for this mission as well, just in case you have to replace somebody. Now you have to, on Sunday, something new starts for you, new training, everything. So are these coming months going to be the longest days because you're going to be eagerly waiting for your turn to get there? Or is it going to be too short because you have so much to do to get ready? And also, if you can just answer in French afterwards as well. Thanks.
Вопрос, значит, канадского телевидения для Криса Хатфилда. Крис, сейчас вы находитесь в составе дублирующего экипажа, вы наблюдаете за тем, как готовятся ваши коллеги, которым до старта осталось буквально 1,5-2 дня. Что вы при этом чувствуете? Вы тоже тренировались, проходили подготовку на этом космическом корабле и на тренажерах тоже? И скажите, что нового для себя вы при этом уяснили?
The life of an astronaut is one of training and preparation and support, and it measures not months or weeks, but years. And we are here to support the prime crew, and we will be ready in 5 months for our own flight. And this is an important threshold, but it's one of thousands, and so it's time moves quickly, and we are happy to be able to support right now. But it's really just part of the long process to get us ready for our own chance to launch come 5th of December.
Жизнь астронавта проходит в постоянных тренировках, подготовках, но также и в поддержке своих коллег. Вот мы сейчас находимся именно в этой роли, то есть мы здесь для того, чтобы поддержать своих коллег-астронавтов, которые стартуют сейчас. Наш старт состоится через 5 месяцев, 5 декабря. Мы уже долгие годы готовились, не месяцы, а годы, и вы знаете, что подготовка к космическому полету занимает очень много времени. Поэтому через 5 месяцев я с нетерпением жду, когда я полечу в космос в составе уже основного экипажа.
La vie d'un astronaute, c'est une vie pas des jours, des semaines, des mois, mais c'est une vie de préparation pendant les années. Et donc, aujourd'hui, nous avons une chance, un moment tellement important comme les réserves, l'équipe réserve pour les autres là-bas. Mais c'est juste un pas pendant un grand voyage. Et c'est juste peut-être aussi une partie un moment de préparation pour notre lancement après encore un peu moins que 5 mois. Et donc, oui, c'est important, mais dans la perspective de toutes les années d'entraînement, c'est juste un pas pendant beaucoup d'un voyage long. Donc, nous sommes prêts, mais le lancement pour nous, c'est après un peu moins que 5 mois en décembre.
Спасибо большое. Можете заметить, насколько международные экипажи на 4.
Thank you very much. As you can see, our international crew members can speak 4 languages.
Вопрос, наверное, от всех японских медиа будет такой же.
I have the same question for Yuri and Sanita. What feelings and what expectations do you have regarding your flight with Akihiko? We would all like to know.
Ну, если коротко, то чувство очень хорошее.
In short, it's a very good feeling. Akihiko, as an individual, is a good comrade, a good friend. We know each other very well. He's a professional, a true professional. We have worked on different systems together, in different simulators inside Soyuz, and he understands everything very quickly. He is well prepared, and he's a high-level professional. Also, it is nice to see that he is representing one of our ISS program partners, and it will be good for us to work with specialists who are in Japan. We have worked with them while preparing on the ground, and we always have a good relationship with them, and now we will have an opportunity to work with them in space as well. Thank you.
And I agree, Aki is a great gift for our crew. We're very lucky to have him as part of our crew. I can't imagine our crew without him. We're sort of a small little family now. So we are very lucky to be working together and have Aki as part of our crew.
Я абсолютно согласна с Юрием. Аки — это просто великолепный подарок для нашего экипажа, и я с нетерпением жду полета в космос с ним. Я просто не представляю себе наш экипаж без Аки.
Спасибо.
Здравствуйте.
Hello, my name is Madina Karamanova. I'm a student of journalism department of the Kazakhstan State University. I am here as a practice, and I'm sure my fellow students will be very jealous about what I get to do. Yuri, you flew with Talgat Musabayev and earned the honorable title of the National Hero of Kazakhstan. Do you see Talgat very often? And also, the 2 Kazakhstan cosmonauts, so when will they get a chance to fly in space? And can you help us here? And also, what interests you the most? Thank you for your responses.
Да, действительно, вот как раз в эти дни мы с Талгатом
Yes, Talgat Malgobevich and I, in 1994, flew in space together. It's been 18 years since we flew, and in that flight, we accomplished 2 programs. The program that was prepared by Russia, the Russian national program, and also we had a big program prepared for us by the Academy of Sciences of the Republic of Kazakhstan. That was very interesting as well, and in the end of our flight, after we accomplished this program, we were given the honor of the Heroes of the Republic of Kazakhstan. That was bestowed on us by the President of Kazakhstan. We keep in touch. We talk regularly. Last time I saw him was actually today. He is here today. And he will be watching our launch. And of course, we would like to see representatives of Kazakhstan participating in our flights as well. And the 2 crew members that you mentioned were trained in Star City in Russia, and they are ready to be included in a specific group and maybe even be included in specific crews. And I know that there are negotiations going on at this time. I'm sure soon we will see them as part of crews. I will be happy to see cosmonauts from Kazakhstan included in the crew of the International Space Station. Thank you. Nikolai Zakharov, NTV television company, of course, for Prime Crew. I have a question. Today you talked a lot about your science experiments, over 40 experiments. The most interesting ones, maybe can you narrow down to 3? Maybe you'll grow flowers on board of the ISS that you will be growing out of seeds that you will bring with you, or something like this. Can you mention 3 most interesting or most fascinating experiments? Do I understand that this question is correctly, that this question is for all crew members? Yes. For me, all experiments are always interesting. I don't like to single out some of them, any of them. For example, when we go outside of the station, we will be collecting samples, and this will be a continuation of the scientific experiment that's been going on for years. We will be collecting samples from the surface of the ISS and bring them back inside the airlock, and then to be subsequently returned to the ground, where they will be studied and researched. This is very important. It will be important for building future satellites or rockets. Another experiment that we will be doing is launching a small satellite by jettisoning it with the help of special mechanism that allows it to launch it in the correct direction. It will be sort of a spring mechanism that will allow us to jettison it further. We will be conducting research to allow us to understand better the trajectory of objects jettisoned in space, what angles these trajectories assume, etc. So that is also important for us to understand various things, such as the trajectories of satellites. That becomes important even in piloting manned spacecraft as well. Maybe Sunny will want to talk about an experiment.
There's so many experiments that we're participating in and that will be occurring on the space station. It's sort of hard to say which ones you like the best or which ones are the most interesting.
Мы планируем принять участие в большом количестве научных экспериментов на борту космической станции. И на самом деле очень трудно выделить какой-то один и сказать, что вот именно этот эксперимент представляет наибольший интерес для нас.
So I'll put it in a categories rather than a specific experiment, if that's okay.
То есть я все эксперименты разделила на несколько категорий. Так нормально будет?
Like biological experiments that we'll be doing on ourselves, I think, are very important to understand what happens to the human body so we can go beyond low Earth orbit and venture on into other planets.
Значит, прежде всего, эта группа биологических экспериментов для нас представляет наибольший интерес, как человеческий организм реагирует на невесомость, на космическую обстановку и что с ним происходит дальше по возвращению на Землю.
And those experiments involve physical fitness, taking samples from ourselves, using ultrasound, and cardiovascular measuring equipment.
Другие эксперименты, они связаны с физическими упражнениями. Во время этих экспериментов мы занимаемся различными пробами своего тела, мы выполняем различные упражнения и смотрим, как наш организм реагирует тоже на это.
And then there's a general category of education and understanding just some of the basic things that happen in space.
И дальше эксперименты, связанные с образованием, с изучением чего-то, то есть смотрим уже как.
Some of that is basic physics, and other things in that category involve an experiment with a jumping spider.
Основные эксперименты связаны с физикой, и далее группа экспериментов, связанных с прыгающим пауком.
And the third group of experiments which are occurring on the space station, we're not even part of, are, of course, AMS, which is working all the time.
И мы, как вы уже сказали, являемся частью экипажа. Мы будем непрерывно работать на борту Международной космической станции.
And also ground control type of experiments where while we're up there, they'll be performing a external refueling mission using ground control. So the station has all sorts of facets of science. It's hard to actually pin down which is the coolest because they're all really cool.
На самом деле много экспериментов, как я уже сказала, и трудно выделить какой-то один эксперимент, какой-то самый клевый эксперимент, скажем так.
Well, just like Sunny said, it's very hard to choose one out of many interesting experiments.
В этом вопросе я соглашусь абсолютно с Саней, потому что очень трудно выделить какой-то один эксперимент и назвать его самым интересным.
There is, however, one unique experiment or technical experiment that we'll be doing during our increment.
Однако существует один очень уникальный технический эксперимент, который запланирован на нашу экспедицию.
And that is to deploy a small satellite, actually 5 of them, using the Japanese robotic arm.
Этот эксперимент связан с запуском маленького спутника, даже 5 спутников, при помощи японского манипулятора.
In the past, we either launched small satellites piggybacking big satellites, or like the Russian cosmonauts has been doing, go out EVA and deploying it.
До этого мы занимались тоже подобного рода экспериментами, то есть мы запускали и маленькие спутники, и большие спутники. Я знаю, российские космонавты при проведении выхода в открытый космос также занимались запуском спутников.
And this time, we're going to try for the first time launching it satellites in a HTV spacecraft, and then opening it up inside the space station using the Japanese airlock to bring it outside. Grab it with a Japanese robotic arm, and then deploy it using a spring force.
Далее, значит, у нас спутник придет этот к нам грузовым кораблем HTV. Мы извлечем его оттуда, поместим в шлюзовой отсек японского модуля. Далее при помощи японского манипулятора мы выведем его в открытый космос, где раскроем его.
And we hope that this will open up more opportunities for other users, not just the users that exist right now, but open up business for all users in the future.
И мы надеемся, что это принесет какую-то пользу и нам, и в будущем тем людям, которые будут заниматься подобного рода экспериментами.
Спасибо. Давайте мы будем задавать.
Thank you very much. Let's ask questions specifically, addressing them for specific crew members rather than an entire crew, in the interest of time.
And if you could as well answer in French and English, that would be wonderful. So although most of you have come from very different cultural backgrounds and you have a wide range of expertise, there's one common thread that ties you all together, which is that you're all very strong leaders. Chris, could you tell us if you have any advice to give the young students of Canada to become stronger leaders to their peers and to their community as well?
Перевод, пожалуйста.
Вопрос к Крису Хатфилду от канадского телевидения. Вот я смотрю на вас, Крис, на вас, на членов вашего экипажа. Вы все такие сильные, здоровые, молодые люди. Можете ли вы дать какой-то совет студентам, как, что нужно делать, чтобы вот быть похожими на вас?
The first step that I have the opportunity, and all of us do, luckily, to speak to tens of thousands of young people around the world. It's a real privilege of wearing the blue suit.
Прежде всего хочу отметить, что для нас является большой честью и привилегией носить вот эти голубые костюмы и разговаривать с десятками тысяч людей на земле с борта.
The first and most important facet of leadership is competence. You have to have competence. Whatever your field of leadership is in, you need to have done the work, prepared yourself so that you have the technical capability in order to lead the people that are going to follow you.
Чтобы быть хорошим руководителем, нужно быть прежде всего компетентным во всех вопросах. Это прежде, я считаю, самое главное, основное качество.
And then the second most important is communication. You have to find out what people want and look for in advance. You have to tell them real time what has to happen, if it's an urgent moment or even a quiet moment, and then you have to listen to what they say in response. Two-way communication is the other vital part of good and effective leadership.
И вторым наиболее значимым качеством нашего сотрудничества является связь, то есть взаимосвязь, скажем так, двусторонняя взаимосвязь между членами экипажа. То есть нужно правильно уметь объяснять людям, какие задачи им предстоит выполнить. Нужно слушать людей, нужно понимать, насколько задача срочная, либо есть время на ее выполнение.
Comme astronaute et cosmonaute, nous sommes tellement chanceux d'avoir la chance de parler avec des élèves partout au monde. Et pour moi, le leadership, la première partie, la plus importante, c'est d'avoir la compétence, c'est avoir les techniques, les choses nécessaires pour absolument savoir les détails du travail et d'avoir les qualifications d'être un leader d'un groupe. Et la deuxième partie, c'est la communication. C'est nécessaire pas seulement de parler, mais aussi d'écouter, de chercher les opinions et l'information nécessaire. Si vous avez un moment, un cas d'urgence, c'est nécessaire d'avoir la communication tellement claire et directe. Et aussi, après ça, d'écouter bien et attentivement au tout le groupe pour être un bon leader.
Mauricio Segovia for Russia Today Television. I have two questions. The first one would be, usually people, when they are facing an important moment in their lives, they have like a soundtrack. There's a soundtrack that pops up in their mind. And I was wondering, what is going to be your soundtrack on Sunday when you're sitting in that Soyuz on the way to the ISS?
Первый вопрос от НАСА ТВ. Каждый раз, когда человек сталкивается с каким-то важным, ответственным моментом в своей жизни, у него, возможно, в голове звучит какая-то музыка, какой-то саундтрек, ассоциирующийся с этим моментом. Вот что вы будете слушать, сидя в корабле при подготовке к вашему старту? Какой саундтрек у вас будет?
And the second question would be, if you had to choose to pick one single thing that you haven't done in space or in the ISS still, what would it be?
И далее, если вам придется выбирать между тем, что делать в рамках космической станции, либо там за ее пределами, вообще, какую вещь вы еще не сделали на борту?
And of course, that you really want to do.
И что вы будете делать?
Well, I'll answer the first question, if that's okay.
Я отвечу на первый вопрос, хорошо?
because I sort of started thinking about this a little bit, and the Black Eyed Peas come to mind.
Я уже немного думала об этом, и мне почему-то в голову пришла группа Black Eyed Peas.
And if you know the song, Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Time, and the second one, of course, is Let's Get This Party Started.
И если вы знаете, их наиболее две популярные песни, сегодня будет хороший вечер, и давайте начнем эту вечеринку.
So just to touch on the first question, we'll see what pops up in my mind that day when I'm sitting. But there is a new JAXA theme song for this mission, so I look forward to listening to that probably once I'm on orbit or maybe even earlier. So we'll see about that.
Я отвечу сначала на первый вопрос. Ну, посмотрим, что всплывет у меня в голове в тот момент, когда я буду сидеть при подготовке к старту. Вообще, на самом деле, есть новая песня японская, вот, которая будет звучать, и я с нетерпением жду этого момента.
And for the second question, there's one thing that I'm looking forward to, and that is the EVA.
Ну и отвечая на второй вопрос, единственное, что я с нетерпением жду, это мой выход в открытый космос.
Ну, я бы ответил по поводу музыки.
Regarding the music, it's an important
Не уверен, какая бы музыка.
moment, and I don't know if I'll have music in my head at that time. But if Sunny has music, then I can listen to hers. That's good enough for me. Now, regarding
Я как бы всю свою профессиональную деятельность.
what I look forward to on board of the ISS, my entire life I've been a pilot.
Сделать только что-то одно.
If I was short on time and could only do one thing, I would fly around the station and enjoy the view, because it's a wonderful creation of humanity. It looks great against the background of the Earth, and it changes entirely when the sun rises or when the sun sets. It's a completely different view, different colors. It's gorgeous.
First question, I would say that I don't know what pops up in my mind when I will be preparing for my launch, so I will be listening Sunny's music. That's okay for me. And answering the second question, the only one thing that I would like to do is to fly around the whole station on board the Soyuz, because station is so huge and views are so different and beautiful, and it's pretty nice to see when the sun rises and sun sets, and it's so cute.
Ну, у нас получилось, что мы ответили на этот вопрос, и у нас.
Looks like we've answered this question, and so we have one last question, please.
Телекомпания NHK для господина.
NHK for Mr. Koshide.
Скажите, пожалуйста, вы неоднократно говорили о том, что
You have mentioned more than once that your dream is to make space more reachable to
реализовать, и вы говорили еще.
the people on Earth. How do you see you can accomplish that? And also you mentioned the first satellite that you will be launching from the Kibo module. What is the message that you would like to send to the students and to the people who are working on making these satellites, and will do that in the future as well?
So for the first question, yes, I think right now there's only a handful of people that go up to space every year. And that's just the cosmonauts and astronauts and another handful of people.
Отвечая на первый вопрос, существует ряд людей, космонавты, астронавты, которые каждый год летают на борт Международной космической станции.
But as you can see today in this room, we've all been to space, we've all worked in space already, and it's becoming a routine for the humankind.
Ну и как вы видите, мы все уже летали в космос, мы все работали в космосе, и у нас есть возможность опять поработать вместе там.
And I think it's our job and responsibility to pave the way for the future generation.
И я считаю, что наша работа и наша ответственность состоит в том, чтобы прокладывать путь в будущее, путь в космос.
And for your second question regarding the small satellites, we have 5 satellites. They are built by university students as well as some companies in Japan and in the United States.
И, как я уже говорила, о 5 спутниках, которые мы планируем запускать, эти спутники были разработаны студентами университетов, также различными японскими компаниями.
And in the past, it was more for the university students to experience the project, but now it's more and more towards business. Different companies has different things that they are thinking, different ideas that they want to try in space.
В прошлом, когда разрабатывались эти спутники впервые студентами университетов, это было приобретение некого опыта, познания чего-то нового. Сейчас это уже превратилось в какой-то своего рода вид деятельности и бизнес, который вот сейчас происходит.
So I encourage everyone, either in universities or in the industries, to come up with different ideas and try it out in space.
И я абсолютно за то, чтобы люди, студенты университетов, либо работники различных компаний, чтобы они приходили с новыми идеями и каким-то образом воплощали эти идеи в жизнь.
Спасибо большое. На этом
Thank you very much. This completes our press conference.
наших космонавтов.
Please thank our cosmonauts for their great responses.
Мы желаем основному экипажу.
We wish the prime crew a successful launch and successful work on board of the ISS and a successful return, and for the backup crew, successful preparation for their December launch and the traditional photograph. Please, prime crew.
Два экипажа, пожалуйста, под эмблемку.
2 crews together, please. Both crews, please.
Так. И, пожалуйста, основной экипаж.
Now, prime crew, please.
Поближе чуть-чуть, Юрий, поближе чуть подойдите.
Please step closer. That's good.
И какое-нибудь рукопожатие.
Maybe a handshake.
Все, пока. Помашите. Помашите.
Now wave.
Thank you. Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.
Большое спасибо.
Thank you.
Все, помашите. Спасибо вам за хорошие вопросы.